Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda. I'm here in our church building and we've been getting the place ready for next Sunday's services. We're increasing our numbers up. Last Sunday we could only have 50 people in each service. Today we are now planning for having 100 people in each service. The government increased the limit, but you had to meet strict guidelines, and that included having people seated in zones of 50, separated by at least 4 meters between the two zones, and with a separate exit and entrance for each zone. Conditions which, to be honest, a lot of churches, unless they're a cathedral, would struggle to meet. The amazing thing is we can meet those requirements in our church because of a decision that we took many years ago. When we took over our current building, we initially were going to do what most churches do, where when you've got a long room, you put the platform at one of the ends of the long length, and then you have the seating in squares all facing the platform. Well, we decided to do something different. We decided instead that we would have the platform on one of the long sides of the room, and so you can actually eyeball everybody in the building while you're talking at the front. The reason is, I believe very strongly that preaching is not just somebody giving a speech or a monologue. That's what we do in our online content. But actually preaching in a live service, for me, it's two-way communication. People respond. You can see by their faces if they're getting the message or not. And I, as a preacher, very much rely on that kind of interaction with the congregation. So that's why we set our building up the way it is now. The beautiful thing, however, is this, that because we set it up that way, and because we've got a big space to the left of our stage, big enough to seat 50 people with 2-meter distancing, and then we've also got a big gap to the right of the stage, a big area there, and once again there is enough room with social distancing, or with physical distancing, 2 meters, to put another 50 people in there, and we've got an exit there, and we've got another exit over there. It means we can meet the government requirements because of decisions that we made years ago, never imagining in our wildest dreams that we would ever find ourselves in our current circumstances. The fact of the matter is, when you're making plans for the future, you don't know what the future holds. Sometimes we think we do. We sit down and we lay out a plan for the year ahead, and then something comes along and absolutely changes it. However, the really beautiful thing, as far as I'm concerned, is this, that while we may not know everything that's going on, God does know. God knew that a day was coming whenever we would have to seat people 50 at one end of the church, 50 at the other. And because of that, God guided us and God led us to make a decision that would make this possible, even though we never imagined such a situation would ever arise. I tell you, it is wonderful. The Bible says, do not lean on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. And I'm so grateful that we can now have church with a limit of 100 people instead of 50 people, because last Sunday I preached 4 services, and I'm getting too old for that. In fact, this is what it made me feel like. Look at this picture. So I'm so grateful that this Sunday I only have to speak in 3 services instead of 4, because God, years ago, knew the situation that would arise and guided us in the plans that we made for the church building. Look, may God bless you. Have a wonderful day, and please join us again next time for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.